And welcome everyone to back to Halo Rec League. We've got some grand finals for you. Some champion mixed here on. We're going to start Streets King of the Hill between Flippers Down and Centennials. I'm Joe. I'm joined by Grace Face 20. Grace, how are you doing tonight?
I'm great. I'm sitting here with you, and what could be better, Joe? And I mean, to start it off, we're also seeing King of the Hill, and that's one of my favorite game modes.
Yeah, I got my chocolate milk right next to me. I'm ready for this matchup. As the battle for the Rockets going down, the Shroud screen going big and allowing her to believe that is to grab the Rockets, but not only able to do more than one kill, able to get one as Wildfire going to grab and shoot the other Rocket. And that gives Centennials the control of the point as of right now.
Centennials with the control of the point, and as we watch Beast, Blaine's here in Laundry, just trying to fight those nades, not take any more damage, staying alive right now to help their team keep control of this hill now that it's flipped back is dire, but the nades come through, and he does get taken down.
Taken down and doing good so far, say Centennials, but have more work to be done as Wildfire's taking some fights, not able to take anyone down, and now signs of life showing up for Flippers Down as they're able to win a couple of the fights, but Benjo finding 3 big kills for Centennials to walk right on back into the point and look to capture our first point.
Looking to capture our first point with just a little bit of friendly fire. The Bulldog is barking, but it's no use. They do get taken down, and it's Benjo Stark who's out of play, a very strong player for this team. And 2 people to keep your eyes on for this team of Centennials would be your Wildfire and Benjo here. I've seen both of them play quite a bit, and I want to say I have good knowledge to say that they might be our top fraggers today.
And it's starting to shape up that way, right? That's what it's looking forward to, being as Wildfire grabbing a big nade kill, and that should be enough to grab this first point. They hop off of it for a little bit, and I believe that is to make sure that they can grab the Rockets, and not the worst decision, but it has to pay out for them. It is a slight risk. It does pay out as they do get those Rockets and the point and those C spawns for the next hill.
They have it all in their basket, and I gotta say this basket's feeling pretty heavy, but 1 rocket in the launcher, and we're just sussing out where this enemy team is coming from, but it seems like they're all in hologram. 1 gets taken down with that Rockets. It's 2 kills for Rockets.
And we'll see if anything can be done. It's been pretty straightforward for Centennials here, not really meeting too much, I guess, resistance at the moment. They've kind of been for free. Everything has been for free, but Flippers Down finally get themselves into C. We'll see if they can actually hold it a little bit, but a big nade comes in. That's Devlin finding 1 kill. Still has more work to do and not able to do it as Nomad cleans it up and finally getting a good hold here.
A great hold here, but it's a little bit broken here, but the double kill does come through, and it's Beast Blaine's who has control here. And I have to point out the players on both teams. We're seeing such a unique scoreboard here. A lot of people choosing to play a lot more OBJ than Slayer.
And we like that, right? It is an OBJ game, you know, so we like to see it, but at the point, it does come down to slays, and at the moment, Flippers Down are getting severely outslayed up to this point, and haven't really been able to keep up in that slaying department, and that has been hurting them a lot as we do go to this newly established P3, the old P5 on this map, and we've seen, Grace, this one isn't easy to get that much time on.
Not easy to get the time on, but with the hot dog weenie cooker in hand that Benjo has, you can definitely pave your way into this hill. And I've got to say, I love the fact that now with all the new nerfs, that as soon as you step into hill, you're gaining that time. And now a double kill coming through for IG Dish, that really causes those numbers to fall back and opens up Rockets for Flippers Down.
Yeah, finally something that Flippers Down is really grabbing here. That's not something they've been able to really get so far in this game, as they've used 1 rocket, nothing really doing. They use the second one, finds it. It's IG Dish finding that kill, and you do see it does get extended a little bit too as well into that corner, which actually allows you to get time for a little bit longer, but They just haven't really been able to get out of C. And by they, I mean Centennials. They've kind of been stuck over on C here. They haven't really been able to do all too much. Actually, no, it's not Centennials. I lied. They did get out. And 2 kills going the way, 3 kills now going the way of Centennials. Make that 4. 4 dead for Flippers down. 3-0. Grace, this is dominant.
A dominant team, and you know, I've watched a lot of the players from Centennials play, so it's almost like I'm watching their live streams. I can almost sense what moves they're going to make next by how often I observe these guys, and I have to give it to Centennials. They have the map control, and the assists are coming through for them. The assists alone are almost more than the kills that Flippers down might have.
And I think this is something we've seen before, like teams struggling to get into a series, especially one that is a grand finals, and the map isn't quite over, but with the way the slang is, I mean, look at the numbers. 2 players still on 3 kills this deep into a game. That's not the position you really want to be in going into this grand finals, as Wildfire gets a big reversal, finds the kill, and that's the opening that they need. Is Benjo able to find a couple? 17 and 8 up to this point, and it's just Centennials running a riot at the moment.
Running a riot, and I love the single-digit kills from the entire team. And Wildfire, definitely a very aggressive player who has the skill to back it up, so you definitely want to watch out and get those rockets out of his hands as soon as possible.
They do. They grab him out, and still trying to take this control, but they're just not even able to get over to the other side of the map. Benjo still going big, 20 and 9, and that's how it's going to end. 20 and 10, double positive on this first map, and it's not just him. Wildfire also double positive.
What a strong game. I mean, 2 players double positive, showing us great play, showing us how to be aggressive when at the right time to be aggressive. So watching how Centennials really had the map control on streets and utilizing Stalker Rifle, Disruptor, and the weapons that the map hands you, that's what guaranteed them this hill time and this game.
Yeah, it's like when there's so much power, I guess, on the map, like you said, the Stalker, the rockets, shotgun, things that are obviously very powerful and in the right hands can do so much damage. And at that point, it was just, you know, in the right hands almost at all times. The control, which, you know, I do think, I will say, sometimes was just the slang power from just BRs alone were able to put those weapons into the hands of Centennials. But at the end of the day, it's like a domino effect, right? And it's just going to continue. It's a cycle. As they have those weapons in their hands, it's just going to continue to be that way. And now as we head towards Recharge Slayer is a Slayer. And Grace, it may not be objective, but it is a Slayer. And we have to think that the advantage really is on one team as opposed to the other.
I definitely want to say that Centennials is going to have the advantage, and looking at how that last game was played, Benjo Stark really showing why tonight he's that team captain. You can tell that he is going to be pushing those leads and going to have his team's back. The assists alone out of Centennials is going to really come into play for them in Recharge Slayer. There's so many open sight lines and weapons to really get you that you're going to really have to rely and trust your teammates.
Yeah, I think of all the Slayer maps, I think this, and obviously Pit as well, I think these are the 2 maps that really you have to be careful with your positioning, as there are so many long lanes, sight lines, things like that to watch the crosses. I think positioning is very, very important on this map as opposed to maybe, I guess, yeah, you know, they're important on all of them, but I think more important here as opposed to maps like Aquarius, Streets, Live Fire, where it's kind of more rotation based, rather where this one is, you know, the long sight lines. So as we start to see those long sight lines head in the break, looking to be actually on the advantage of Flippers down. And I lied. Why would I lie to you guys like that? It's 3 kills Centennials grabs.
3 kills on Centennials. Joe trying to deny that for them, but I won't let that happen. Benjo, Wildfire, Beast, Devlin, I've got your back, don't worry. 4-2 in favor of Centennials right now, and we're really trying to collapse on 3 players here in C Plat, but it's not going to have the team to back them up, so we do end up falling flat.
And I think with how bad that opening break off was for Flippers down, they've done a good job to at least not let it get out of hand early on, as they're only down 2 as Bird finding a big kill onto Benjo, the big dominant player. And I think it's so crazy. You look at the Centennials roster with Devlin going 4-0 to start. When you have this many players able to really pop off like this, we've said it before, the amount of players having slaying abilities makes it so hard to beat, as Centennials is now really jumping into quite a lead, starting to make some separation.
Definitely starting to make that separation, and 11-4 is a comfort blanket for a team like that. So watching now, IG Dish, he does get that stick. It's 2 players from Centennials pushing with the shock rifle from long haul.
And I think you've said it as well. When you have that kind of lead to build off of, it kind of means that you don't have to play as careful. You can really start to push the pace. And with teams with slaying abilities like this one right here, it allows you to really just continue to take the fights and not make the other team comfortable at all. With the shock rifle in the hands of Devlin, who at the moment is the one with the hot hand, it's going to make it very difficult for Flippers Down to do anything as he finds another one, a 7-0 start to this map 2 Slayer. Make that 8.
And the game telling Devlin that they're perfect. 2 away from this frenzy. Can we see Devlin get this? Sad to see that the shock rifle is now out of ammo. Can they catch this player that's trying to rotate gold pipes and the player rotating Mangler?
As that shock rifle is starting to come back up, I'm sure Devlin's waiting over here, waiting for it to come right back up. Finding first assist, actually, first assist in the map. Going crazy. And still, though, that push, it's opening up for the rest of the team. They're going to back up a little bit, but right into the hands of Flow. And with a 10-kill lead, it's just starting to become so hard for them. And that almost a big kill, but not able to do it. Playing his life best that he can and able to find the trade, and that's a very good engagement for Flippers Down, coming out on top in those trades, and that's what you're going to need if you're going to want to get yourself right back into this map.
Right back into it, and Nomad right here, team captain for Flippers Down. We're seeing him 7-1-5, top fragging for his team. What I'd like to see Flippers Down do right now is just try to regroup and work together as a team to try to hold this map control, something that Centennials is really, really banking on right now.
And it's only 8 right now. It's not the worst thing in the world. We've seen teams be in worse positions and still be able to come back and win. And I think at least it does start now, and getting caught out of position, that's not what you need. Able to still pull a kill back, but getting caught out like that, not a place you want to be, as now you see Centennials are the ones looking for this camo. And you got to think, if they're the ones who grab it, may not be the best thing for Flippers Down.
Not the best thing, but if you look at the score, we are inching closer and closer. Now we're just seeing a 6-point difference, and a nade coming through and 2 go down for Centennials. We really want to see Flippers Down capitalize off these slays.
Oof, and not able to find that kill, and would have made it a 3-kill game right there. And I think they're finally doing well here. I think they have a grasp more on, at least than the last map, of what they need to be doing here, is they have these players kind of backed down into the pipes area of the map, and as they are starting to spawn out, they weren't able to find all of the kills, but still doing a much better job at least forcing these players to be in certain positions and then actually take team fights. I think that in those moments where they're taking those team fights, that's where they're at their best, and that's what they've kind of been forcing upon this game.
Yeah, we're definitely seeing the teamwork make that dream work, and when it comes to Halo, it's a team game. You don't necessarily have to play that lone wolf style, and if you have the skill to back it up, of course you get the slays, but your team needs you, and working together on a map like Recharge is going to really guarantee you a certain amount of points lead and that security blanket for you.
Another kill going the way of Flippers Down. 2-point game, 2-kill game. Not all too far off at the moment, and that comeback has really been made. We said it. We've seen worst things, but they've gotten themselves right back into the game. As camo now coming up in 10 seconds. We'll see which team can really step up and grab it, because that might end up being a big turning point into this game.
a piv moment if Flippers Down can grab this camo, but I've got to give it to IG winning that 1v1 against the player on stairs and then trading with the other. As 3 go down for Centennials, you now see the camo come into play. Flo choosing to grab that shock rifle, keeping the enemy team at bay, will allow Flippers Down to possibly grab this camo, but I think it's been wasted.
May have been wasted and giving out a couple kills for it, actually. And even though they had grabbed it, maybe jumping the gun a bit early, and no.
Oh, sadly, we do
No.
see a crash for Flippers Down. So if you guys could just bear with us for just a few seconds, we'll go ahead and get this lobby back together and go ahead and talk about how we're going to handle this. Thank you guys. Bear with us.
And we have returned with a competitive ruling as well. A little bit of a thing. So Centennials only need 10 kills. Flippers down, need 11. Now, Grace, knowing that with that information being thrown out there, how big is this first break?
An extremely big first break, and the first break we just saw from the last start was a little rough for, I mean, both sides almost. So this break is going to mean the world to each other.
And so teams are just playing so slow and not really moving too much at all. And it's got a problem. Gotta be. No way. It's odd. This is funky. Hmm. Ah,
Yep.
well, it looks like another one has happened. So unfortunately, we're gonna have to. So sorry. I am so sorry, but we're gonna have to send this to another short break while we're trying to figure all of this out. And we're back. Part 3, Recharge Slayers. Similar ruling as to last time. Hopefully, we have all 8 players be able to survive more than 5 seconds this time. That would be an improvement.
Yeah, exactly. And one thing that I just have to reiterate is this break is going to mean everything to both teams, and whoever gets this camo is going to take this game and run with it.
And I believe it was snagged out by, I think, Flippers down. No, never grabbed. And they're going to go try and grab it a little bit too soon. And unfortunately, that is going to go into the hands of Centennials. don't have a lead. They're down 2-1, but they do have this camo to work with. And look at all the information. Just walking right up with this camo. Free kill. That is 1. Make it 2. Gonna get traded out. Not the worst thing in the world, but his team should be able to come in for the most part and clean it up. And there it is. Devlin finding another one. And still these trades, though, Grace, going out.
The trades are definitely going to come into play here because of how aggressive a few of these players are. It seems like we do have our 2 aggressive and 2 support players on both teams, and watching Benjo just slide across this map here with the shock rifle and grapple, choosing to take our top tower control, susses out his enemy player on our bat ledge, but doesn't quite get that headshot.
Yeah, and something to note here for our quick math. Centennials only need 2 kills. 1 kill make it. They need 1, while Flippers down need 1 as well. It's actually just 1 or 1. Oh, and that's the game. Flippers down out of nowhere. It happened so quickly. It looked like they were going to lose the map, but just out of nowhere, it might have been the mental just from one team to just sit there and be like, you know, since the score's only 10-9, that it wasn't 1 kill needed, but it was. It was only 1 kill needed.
And when it's just 1 kill needed, it flashes right before your eyes like that. It takes 1 grenade, 1 cluster luck. It doesn't matter what it is. Once the ball gets rolling, it's going to snowball.
Yeah, that was tight and an intense Slayer game. I mean, that's what it was looking like it was going to happen, you know, before that whole fiasco. But we're going to go into a third map, going towards another objective mode. It is live fire oddball. And I would say, personally, I feel like this is very different from those first 2 maps.
Extremely different, and I say it a lot. I love live fire being thrown in mid-series because it's a map that really allows certain players to shine, and sometimes you see a team go in for that reverse sweep, or you see a team go in for that complete total domination. So oddball live fire, not only is it long, but it's very, very aggressively played. You want that ball, you want that map control, and you're definitely going to see them play over the power-ups and sandbox as well.
Yeah, and speaking of as well, that was a completely different Flippers down team than we saw in map 1. They just won a Slayer. You know, the problem on that map 1 was the slaying, and they just turned up and started hitting some shots and playing well as a unit. And going into live fire, are we expecting this to still be towards the side of Flippers down? Be like, these guys are the ones that have woken up. This is what we typically expect from them, or is this a Centennials wrap up? Like, what are we looking at with this map?
I want to say I can't really tell you. You know, sometimes when there's a lag out or there's, you know, instances where we have to stop that game, your momentum kind of halts and you either lose it or you kind of hold on to it for that little bit of time. So we could see Flippers down take that win that they just showed us they can get and run with it. And we also could see Centennials completely dominate like we saw in that first map.
Yeah, and I think also though, I think live fire and maybe oddball is probably more similar to that map 1 of Streets King of the Hill rather than a recharge. I mean, we said the differences between a recharge and a Streets map just with the way that the positioning works, and I think this map goes more towards that map 1. And obviously the slang is now doing a lot better than they did on map 1, slang wise, 4 Flippers down. But I think realistically, with the way that the map works, from what we've seen at least, this favors Centennials. But we'll see if that continues to develop, I suppose, throughout this map.
Yeah, it definitely, like you said last game, it depends on the break. It depends on who's going to play for that sniper, who's going to decide to play for the oddball. And the first round of slays before you pick up that oddball is going to really come in clutch. And the green gun is going to come into play first off.
He just brings that ball right on out. No fear at all. Just brings it straight over to A and has that heat wave to work with as well. And a pretty good start from them as Bird hits a great shot with the heat wave to be able to clean up that kill. And now as the overshield is going up, this is going to be a big battle. The first real big battle. I mean, obviously the ball is one of them, but the overshield going to be huge in the implications for the rest of the game as the Heat Wave able to find one, not able to find more than that. However, and that's going to be Centennials grabbing it. But unfortunately, that ball is going to make its way towards B back green. So good rotation really for Flippers down.
A good rotation and kind of a spot to have that security blanket to play the ball. So with Overshield coming at you full force, you're going to want to be able to play that ball. But with 4 going down, the ball goes unplayed. We're going to see Centennials pick up this ball and put some time on it.
A little bit of a blunder, if you ask me. And they have that sniper still to work with. So see if they can find the kill, but actually not going to be looking the right spot. I thought he got the stick. Fortunately, going to be able to find the kill and also hit a nice little no-scope. But this push so far, doing well for Flippers down as they're making their way over to back green. Able to do that, force the ball to be played, and still have a little bit of a lead.
A little bit of a lead, but that 10-point lead could very much turn into a 20-point lead. And now watching Flippers down with the momentum they have, flowed by himself, the last one alive, just a slide in, and Centennials take him down. Overshield coming up in 2 seconds. We're going to see the pace change. Maybe focus on this Overshield a little bit more.
What a big win for Bird. Ends up getting taken down, but looks like the ball and the Overshield going the side of Centennials, and now that momentum has completely shifted into their hands as they take the lead and have that ball into a C setup. And with the sniper in hand, this is the position you want it to be in. It's able to connect on one shot, finding both kills on this B side. The sniper not able to connect, but still damage being done and just being the presence that we know Devlin can be, not slowing down at all from that map to 10-1 to start this map off.
A crazy stat line here, and we love to see how a player like Devlin just flows around this map. And right now 2 down for Centennials and 2 down for Flippers down. It's a 2v2 situation. We find a match here in cuts as stickies come up. Both players have shields.
Yeah, the slaying is just not at all in the hands of Flippers down, but Nomad starting to work it, not able to hit the shot as Devlin finding 2, just not slowing down at all. Is the ball now finally gonna get played? But I mean, it forced a little bit of a break and now a little bit of a reset onto the map, but wow, what a swing of momentum.
Exactly, and with this 30-point lead we have on the ball now, we're going to see Centennials play more aggressive and less as that really, really big wolf pack. You're going to see them position around the map.
Yeah, but they're able to grab the ball, kill the sniper, and good work really on that break for the most part, but we'll see if they can turn that into anything. They have the ball, really, in my eyes, the better hold on the map. It's easier to hold, and also it's easier to play the ball when you need to. And what else is going to make it easier to hold is you have that Overshield now to work with. And finding the first kill, it's IG dish with it. Make that 2 is now positions known of the last 2 players. Nomad able to find the 2 of them, clean it up. That is 4 dead for Flippers down.
Great teamwork. I mean, no matter how much that Overshield got shredded, they didn't back down. Knowing and trusting that your teammates there to clean that up was amazing. And now Centennials regrouping here, bottom tunnel, pushing together, trying to get that ball reset, and it does end up getting reset. 81-75 in favor of Flippers down right now.
Yeah, and the ball ends up getting played, and we're going to see if they can get it back to C, and if they're able to do it. There's only going to be one opportunity for Centennials to go for this break, and they have a little bit of damage going out, and they do have a kill to work off of, but there's only 5 seconds remaining. That ball going to be looked to rotate it 2, make it 1, and able to finish it. He was getting swarmed, but the round is going to end. Beautiful movement to collect those last couple seconds of time and overall collect that first round.
You definitely feel Flippers hot down is going to feel hot right off the start. Going to go right for the objective. playing for objective, slaying out, getting those first 2 kills on the board, 3 down for Centennials now. Opens up a ball grab here, 4 flippers down.
And we'll see if they can actually grab it out, and they're able to grab this ball. The heat wave having so much, and maybe not rotating the ball into the best area, but we'll say for the most part, this is pretty well done from them, as they're going to look their way towards that overshield, and they do grab it. That's Nomad grabbing him. They have the sniper as well. So much at the moment to work with. Unfortunately, haven't really done anything with the ball quite yet.
Nothing with the ball yet, and oh my gosh, the slays coming through, and now we're seeing 3 down for flippers down, and Devlin here, heat wave in hand, trying to play the ball, but almost getting slayed out, decides to play his life, and his team trying to regroup here back tower and take this map control.
Yeah, and Devlin with the sniper is a very scary sight. We saw what happened with the shock rifle on the last map of Recharge, so definitely not the hands you wanted in if your flippers down, but the ball actually going to go off the map, and a little bit of time right there. The shroud screen seeing the power as always. I still love it. Such a great addition to the game, but a couple kills now. Flippers down have secured, so they should be able to really grab the ball, secure the ball, and secure a little bit of a setup here. But really the first one we've seen this entire game, really going to grab more than, I guess, 10 seconds consecutively, and that's not something we've really seen so far.
Round 2 being completely different than round 1. Now each team kind of has a sense of how each other's going to play, and now we see 3 down for flippers down, and Centennials going to try to capitalize off this. The ball getting played at the perfect time with OV coming up. Having that push for ball and OV together sometimes guarantees you both.
And at the moment, it's definitely paying off for them. Benjo grabs the ball, be able to get it out. Unfortunately, not really too many kills going through. And you'd think they'd be able to do it a little bit easier with having the overshield in hand. And there it is, going to get aggressive with it. It may be burned out, but it's going to help Devlin find that kill. And Grace, I don't want to be that guy to point out just KD, but 21-7 with 10 assists is unreal damage output.
Real damage, and I really want to see, you know, when the ball is in hand, Devlin has almost all the power weapons kind of run through the ammo. Devlin's picking up a lot of our sandbox on this map, which is really shredding the shields for his teammates and allowing this ball time to be doubled for them.
And actually, they kind of gave the ball away for a little bit, but able to get the kill, and that's actually going to give them a free setup now, so a little bit unfortunate for them. Flippers down, grabbing the ball, and a little bit of a mistake right there as the ball does end up getting played. But so far up to this point, pretty even round of oddball, and one of the more even ones I've seen. And we'll see if anything changes and what really needs to happen for them to really get some separation here.
Running out of rat tunnel, BTH plays their life really, really well. That nade coming through, and it's the teammate that has his back to clean it up. But he's bringing the ball right to our respawners, and he gets trapped here. But his teammate, Flo, has his back, and the ball left in pipes. We're going to try to see Centennials going for the flank, but he runs into 2 enemy teammates. And now with our ball, the points away only being 4-point difference, we're going to see the Slays really having to come through to get more time on this ball.
There's been a lot of mistakes, right? A couple of misreading of spawns and putting the ball in certain positions that aren't really the best, and that's really caused not just one team but really both teams to not get any separation. And at the moment, we're looking at everything, and just neither team is really able to get a setup. And I think the main culprit of that is Centennials, who've been able to grab OS basically every time this round and not able to really build upon that as Benjo gets taken down to that spike nade. An unreal turn of events.
Oh, and there's that stick you just missed earlier for you, Joe. A nice stick on the tip of the toe. I'm a poet, and you know it. Nomad here, bottom tunnel. Rat tunnel here is a dangerous spot full of a nade magnet. But the ball coming into the play, the repulsor coming into play. Nomad, knowing him and his teammate, they're the last alive, they're going to try to rotate out of these sandbags.
And playing their life and just playing good teamwork for the most part is Flow now. Looking to back up into the back of tower. They're able to find the kill, and that is a gift again for Centennials, just giving away the ball and the control. And that is, at this point, what's keeping Flippers down into this round. And they're able to find the kill. The ball gets played now, but I mean, not before they build at least a little bit of a 10-point lead, just making mistake after mistake at this point.
And now almost a full team wipe for Flippers down, really denying them time to play for this ball. And the spawner's coming up. Nomad here trying to just play these stickies and gain control back. We want this ball back. And now we have a tie game. The ball tried to be played, but it doesn't. And Nomad here, a great push for his team. Does he get to keep this ball in his hand? He does. The slay's coming through. I gotta give it to Nomad. The aggressiveness was there, but the shots really came through for him.
Yeah, and just doing it all, finding the kills, finding the ball, and now they also grab the overshield and looking to end the map. They have the overshield, they have the sniper, they have everything on the map that you could possibly want. Finding a really just a no-scope, but looking to see if you can find more. Finding a kill, that's IG Dish, but not able to end the game as the ball does get played. And this is Benjo looking to bring this ball back to that C tower and extend this game for at least a little bit.
90-71 Centennials finally getting a nice amount of time on this ball, hoping to tie it up. And I like the position we're holding here. And with our 3v3 going on right now, this sniper running out of ammo, but the body shots connecting, really telling the other team to back off. But the 1v1s are coming through, the nades are coming through, and with 3 down for Flippers down, Wildfire, Centennials doesn't really get to capitalize off of it. And it's Flippers down who take our round 2 and win this game 3, which is going to take us to our next game and our next map.
Yeah, and I believe that will be Aqua CTF. But going back onto that, at least the round 1, that looked great for Flippers down. But
Mhm.
not gonna lie, that one was kind of nice gift wrapped for them. Put a little bow on it, signed Centennials, giving them that second round. If we kind of want to put it in simple terms, it was just, to me, I mean, you could probably put it better than I can, but it just time after time making mistakes that really gave Flippers down the advantage in that round and overall the ability to close it out.
Sometimes you have to think that maybe it's, the fact that the chemistry coming into play here, or maybe it's even the in the moment panic where you just want to get that ball to safety, so you just accidentally rotate it the wrong way. That happens to everybody. And you have to have the comms, and just those slight mistakes put you at that disadvantage and denies you the ball time, and that denies you the win.
And I think that's something that they did really well on map 1 for Centennials was being able to read the spawns. And going to our last couple of maps, that hasn't been the case. With Recharge, we saw the best opportunities really for Flippers down to get back into it was putting, or I should say, influencing the spawns and manipulating them to really get those opportunities to get those wipes and just overall wins on engagements. And on this map, a couple of misread spawns has overall been their downfall. So looking forward to Aquarius, this is a map that is much easier to read these spawns. And I think this is the one, if any map is going to be the one and mode for them to really get themselves and be able to push a map 5. But I could be wrong. I could be spewing nonsense. That's just what I would say.
I don't think you're spewing nonsense. And I feel like Aquarius is a map where it's very snowbally. Once you have that control over the map, the flag caps really start coming in one after one. And I want to kind of give this prediction, and I could be wrong, but off break, I definitely feel like we're going to see one of these teams capture that first flag very quickly and then take control of the pacing of the game. And both of these teams have aggressive players who are going to be in your face and definitely want to have that one up on you.
And I think both teams have been good when it comes to having an advantage and holding it. I think you know, at least outside of that last round. Centennials has been really, really good with that. But I think you're right. You know, whoever gets the advantage should be able to continue it and keep it and hold on to it like near and dear to their heart. But I think it's not necessarily going to be who gets the advantage, really, for the most part. I think going into this is going to be who themselves can break out of those traps and really just the holes that they're going to be in, because both teams at one point are going to find themselves in an advantage. It really just depends on which team is going to be able to do a better job at fighting from behind, in a sense.
Yeah, and with a lot of the nerfs coming through, those dinos on this map aren't as deadly. So you're going to have a little bit of a harder time making sure you have those dinos in the right place. And that's one of the equipment on this map that really opens the lanes for you to have those flag runs. And you can now stand in the same room as the dinos and they're not going to really affect you like they used to.
No, they're not. I think this is the only map really that has come to too much of effect, and even then, they're still powerful just with how small certain lanes can be. But definitely right, and I think that is something to definitely note as this break going out. There they are, the shocks coming out real quick as Bird finding the opening kill, but not able to do too much with it as the camo has already been grabbed. Not sure whose hands they belong in, but for the most part, both teams are very even right now. Nobody really grabbing any advantage thus far.
Just watching the trades go through, but it's Centennials right now that's kind of coming out on top. We're seeing them come in with the numbers, and right now BTH trying to just keep his base safe as the enemy team, I believe 3 Centennial players, is pushing in to our Flippers down flag base.
Pushing in here as they do find a kill. Flippers down. Trying to do their best to hold off on the push as IG Dish, excuse me. Falling back to the base. Trying to do what he can to really get everyone out, but not able to do it as he ends up getting taken down at one point. And just overall, back and forth. Nothing too crazy. Kills still going through, and neither team really getting too much of a leg over the other.
There's a lot of time left on this clock, and it's extremely possible that they feel like maybe the way to go is to waste a little bit of that time. The team pushes are definitely going to come through at a certain point once we feel that heat really start to come into play. And Devlin here 4-2 in our yellow U, pushing in for that flag pull, our first flag pull I believe of this game, but it's the sights that are on him from Flippers down, but he's gonna run this flag dino haul.
And able to get it out as there is one player overextending as it's IG Dish getting taken down, but still Nomad finding a kill, a big one, but that flag should go straight in for free. Gets taken down, but unfortunately not before we get our first cap of the game. Centennials putting themselves on the board first and at least grabbing themselves their first lead really since that map 1.
The sleigh is not really going in their favor, but you have to have the endurance. You have to learn to regroup with your team, and that's exactly what Centennials did there. Having the lanes open for Devlin, people able to hit their shots, you're going to have that flag run really feel like butter to you. And Devlin here with one of our favorite weapons, that sidekick, and you can see Flippers down just huddling in their base, really not trying to allow them to flood in like they did that first cap.
And I think they're doing a decent job at that. The only issue is, and I'm sure they know it, and the opposition of Centennials know it, is that they're giving up a lot of map control in playing this kind of style. And that unfortunately is just it's gonna add up over time, right? The power weapons, the positions that are gonna be difficult to clear are just gonna go the way of Centennials. And you said it, really before the game started, whoever would get this advantage would be able to hold it. The question is, how long will this last for?
Well, hopefully it's not 8 minutes and 35 seconds, because that's what we have left on the clock. And Benjo getting the second flag pull for Centennials is going to run it the exact same way. And I love what we're seeing from Centennials, the spawn manipulation coming through, but it's just one straggler that takes down that flag runner.
And that flag, unfortunately, making it out. Unfortunately for Flippers down, of course. It's a good thing. if you are from Centennials, but that flag actually going to be stopped, gets pulled out. The not going to go all the way through as it is touched once again, but still, at least delaying the inevitable. What it seems to be is there are not enough numbers for Flippers Down to really stop anything.
And I believe BCH tried to pick up that camouflage, got taken down, and I think it was burnt. I don't think anyone has our camouflage. So with that camouflage not being in play, Flippers Down doesn't get to pick it up and try to capitalize off of it.
Yeah, and with those power-ups as well, I just think it heavily influences Slays, right? And the Slays have really been what's heavily determined this game. On that map one, they very much went the way of Centennials, and ever since then, it's been going the way of Flippers Down. But right now, back towards Centennials, and I guess a lot of the times, Grace, it normally does go the way of whoever wins the slaying battle, but not this much.
Now we have 3 caps on the board for Centennials, and with 6 minutes on the clock, Flippers Down, they do have enough time to try to tie it up, and it's Nomad who gets that flag pull and a great slide, throwing it there at our blue table, and Devlin, last one alive for Centennials, trying to deny that flag run.
And not able to find the kill, actually gets taken down, but this is kind of the moment, right, for Flippers Down to really get themselves back in the game. An opportunity here to be able to get the flag, and that's a double kill for IG Dish, and able to be in their base, has yet to be taken down, and this actually might be a good place for them to be and maybe be able to string together a couple of caps in a row. Gets taken down, but still, that's going to force those players to back up a little bit and actually gives Flippers Down a little bit of an opportunity to move up the map a little bit further.
Now it's just a 2-point lead, 2 flag cap lead for Centennials, and now IG Dish here trying to get the kills. The Slays here in yellow U, a little team nade coming through, but 13 and 11, having the most Slays on the board, but he does end up getting taken down, and it's Benjo here, 12 and 7, trying to push in, has thrusts, full pocket of nades. The teammate Wildfire here with camo, going to flood into the base of Flippers Down. A back smack landed, a double kill landed, and now we're going to see this flag get pulled, hopefully.
That was just absolutely clinical for the most part, but not able to find the kill. And after all of that, to not even get a pull is insane, as Nomad and IG Dish combined to be able to find that kill, and the damage, or I should say the push, not fully wavered off quite yet, but looking like right now they've been able to finally break out a little bit, and that is, I'm not going to say a disaster, but I'd say a tragedy for how much they were able to do right there and not even get a pull of the flag.
No pull on the flag, still a 2-cap lead for Centennials. BTH with the heat wave in hand, one of my favorite weapons, and on this map it can do so much damage, and a double kill coming through for our teammate here, and Wildfire top mid just trying to put down this damage, knowing that they are down 2 players. The flag getting pulled, but it's not going to go in the favor of Flippers Down. The team is all there, and we're going to get the return.
Still some time. You don't want to say it's over quite yet, but they do need to capitalize on the opportunities they're going to get, because there are going to be a couple opportunities for them, but they need to capitalize on them, as a Bird finding a big double kill, and that's going to allow him to move up towards this closet area and overall into the base, and maybe even cause some chaos and allow his teammates some space to move up the map a little bit, as we start to see now those blue arrows moving forward a little bit.
Camo coming into play too. Who is going to pick up this camo? Beast gets himself a kill, and I believe it's 2 down for Flippers Down now. And Wildfire, just the person you want to pick up this camo, just makes it away, as Magic would say, with 1 HP in a dream. The flag getting thrown out to blue table, but we're surrounded by enemy players. Wildfire has to play this smart.
He did play it smart, I guess. He wasn't played smart by everyone, though, right there, and ends up getting taken down, but not before that flag goes through. But we do see Flo running into the base and able to get that flag out and at least postpone that cap, and that's something that was completely necessary, because having a 3 flag deficit really with 3 minutes. Maybe not gonna be easy to do. And the flag is,
Ooh.
oh no, brought out to the front of the base, and still that flag is yet to be returned. And as it was brought out a little bit, it should be now, as I don't think there's any player really close enough to be able to do anything about it. Flag going in. Nobody could do anything about it. And Benjo finding a quick double kill and just one flag away from capping, or really just capping off the game.
And Flippers Down not really trying to give up. We do see that flag get pulled, but I mean, Centennials has the scores, they have the slays, and they have the numbers there, so the flag didn't really quite make it anywhere.
And looking to send us to this map 5, and this is more of the team we saw in that first map, and one that has kind of ghosted us for at least the last 15 minutes between maps 2 and 3. And guess we'll see if they can do anything here. As Flo and Dish both going down, not able to get that flag too far out. A desperate attempt, and that's really all they're gonna have from this point on, as there's only 2 minutes left. It's just gonna be desperation, as Bert does find one. They should be able to get the flag out, and bringing it out maybe to the wrong spot, not able to get it out. Completely unfortunate, and able to find the kill, and just agonizing watching this.
Agonizing watching that slide not coming through, the flag getting stuck up top, and now we're going to see Centennials play extremely aggressive defense, and oh my gosh, a slay going down, but it's IG with the camo kind of pushing by himself, definitely overextending a little bit from those respawners, but with the camo, I know he's feeling a little bit more confident than he would.
Well, of course, the ability to go invisible can do that to a person for sure. And it's looking like this map is basically over. Minute left. I don't think they could even really grab 3 caps for the most part, but this is the Centennials we've really expected to see. And it's kind of weird because outside of the middle part of that recharge Slayer, it hasn't really been too close. It's really been one team dominating or the other, and we'll see if going into that last Slayer, if it'll be a similar story of just one side dominating, or maybe a close map like we saw on that map too.
30 seconds left on this clock, and you know, I have to say, I want to say that game 5 was in the scripts, and both of these teams are just following it, because both teams have been so toe to toe, and the momentum has switched so much between these teams that honestly at the moment I'm not sure who I'm really rooting for.
It'll be tough, right? But I think that flag will go through, so a little bit of a consolation prize. 4-2 instead of 4-1. You'd always like to see that. And I mean, you're just going to need to see all 4 of the players from Flippers Down really step up going into this last map. You can't have anyone really have an off map. We saw what's really happened when players have had off maps, and we've seen the difference of when all 4 of them are really firing on all cylinders, when all 4 connecting, hitting their shots, everything like that. They've looked much better, which obviously, I mean, that's kind of self-explanatory, I guess, to an extent, but I mean, you can't have players going off. This is it, a map 5 grand final. Like, what better script could you write?
I mean, something that I mean, I couldn't even write. I'm not that creative, but I have to say both of these teams going so toe to toe, the games flipping back and forth the way they do. And I've got to give it to, you know, the players of Flippers Down. BTH Bird and IG Dish, they play very, very aggressive, and watching them just trying to push forward for their team that last map, not giving up and not really, you know, letting that endurance fall short for them. And you got to give it to Flippers Down. When they're down and out, they're definitely not out.
No, they're not. And I think in Slayer, it's a lot easier to come back from because, looking into that King of the Hill and looking into really the oddball, I guess. I mean, they were able to win out the oddball, but going, I guess, more towards that King of the Hill when they were down and out, it was a lot harder to come back from. Whereas opposed to that Slayer, they were able to make, I think it was a 9-kill comeback, if I'm
Hmm.
correct, if I call correctly. And that is quite a big comeback. And right now, I think it's a little bit easier to come back from a 9-kill deficit, which is a large one, than a 3-flag deficit, even if it's on a map like Aquarius. But going through, we have a Streets Slayer on this last one, and we know what happened the last time we went to Streets.
I mean, the fighting is definitely for the streets, and I gotta say, Centennials was made for the streets. Watching how they dominated that first map and mode of King of the Hill Streets, this one's Slayer. They don't have to play objective. They're going to sit their happy little butts in a position, have that sandbox and the utility in their back pockets, and we're going to probably see a repeat. But I mean, Flippers Down has that momentum for them going now. So we could see them have that answer. And since it's not so objective based, they could start playing a bit more aggressive.
Yeah, but to an extent, though, since this is Slayer, you don't have an objective to worry about. I think for me, at least, you can see Flippers Down not have to worry about an objective while also trying to worry about these power weapons and just weapons in general. I feel like they can just actually only focus on those. And if they just play around those, I think it could be a little bit different than that map one. But I mean, going into it, you're right. It is still a very similar map. And we saw Centennials throw on an absolute masterclass on that first time they ran it. So it could really go either way to me. I think it really just depends on, and we can say this before every single game, who wins the power weapon battle, who gets those rockets, who has that stalker, who has that shotgun, who has control of these weapons, because we've seen how powerful some very powerful weapons can be in the hands of really all 8 players in the lobby. So I think obviously whoever has that control really can just dominate throughout the game.
Yeah, and we saw that first game, the Rockets were a knockdown drag out every time they came up. So we never really knew who was going to, grab those Rockets, which hands they were going to fall in. And it's going to be another story of that. The Rockets are going to be the hot commodity, and both of these teams are hungry for that power weapon.
Yeah, I mean, you're hardly ever gonna see grabbing rockets without breaking a sweat, right? Every time, just with how small this map is, it's always gonna be a little bit of a fight for it. And I think whoever wins out those fights will definitely have an advantage. It is Slayer, so those rockets can be a big swing for multiple waves of kills, and that can really just be a huge swing. You know, you win the engagement for the Rockets, it could be up 2 kills, and then you get the Rockets again, and that provides an opening to be able to get a lead of a couple more kills. And right there, that's a 4 to 6 kill swing, just getting the Rockets alone. And that is a big thing. But as we load into the map, going into it, the break off with those Rockets up, seeing if anyone can do it, as the first kill does go the way of Centennials. It's Benjo, but they may have gotten the first kill, but they were not able to grab the Rockets. It's Nomad grabbing them and not able to do all too much so far.
Rocket's kind of wasted here, but the Stalker in the back pocket, the Stalker definitely something to keep out of the hands of Centennials, as they really, I mean, capitalized that Stalker. They sat up there and waited for it to spawn almost every time.
And now having the Stalker out, Nomad making a huge play to be able to open that up. It finds its hands, or way into the hands of Flow, and see if anything can be done with them so far. But damage now going out. It's Flippers Down, doing a really good job at team shotting, playing together, moving as a unit, and maybe not clearing out everything, but they're just playing almost flawless Halo right now. The trade not able to come through, but that's 2 players going low, and unfortunately Nomad in a tough position, not able to survive. And Benjo cleaning up another one, and good work for the most part as Flow able to find one, not able to find the second, and very even to start this game off.
A double kill out of Benjo, and definitely avenging his teammate there, not checking their corners. A Shroud Shield in the back pocket of Benjo here will definitely try to keep him safe, but it's the Bulldog here barking in PD for the killing spree, and the last shot there on that Bulldog. 3 down for Flippers Down here. Benjo and his teammates are going to try to collapse on the rest of them.
And a very big swing for them right there, but now we do see Flippers Down at least waking up a little bit. Quick 3 kills going their way, and now with the Rockets coming up, no better time for that to happen. Wildfire does grab one, but not enough to stop them from grabbing Rockets. IG Dish gonna try and make the play. The world is his oyster. He has these Rockets to deal with, and finds one, and that's actually both Rockets going down as he finds 2. A killing spree for IG Dish, and a map 5 heroics is desperately being asked for from Flippers Down, and he is providing that spark that they've needed to get back into this map.
15 and 17 in favor of Centennials now. And I mean, the kills just coming in, and every now and then those trades coming through, which is keeping Flippers Down in this game. And Benjo here, I'm sorry, seeing the respawn screen, BTH is the one who picks up our stalker rifle, something that we've seen him comfortable with, and really hitting those shots is going to guarantee that they don't collapse on them here from this arc street.
Yeah, but unfortunately not really in the best of spots. This C area, maybe not the best place to be, as they're going to be pretty easily wiped out. But no, Flo actually finding a big double kill and going to be able to grab that stalker, I believe, as well. Not finding it, but that's okay. Who needs it? Actually able to get out of that position, which could have been really bad for them, but they're able to get out of it, and now have these players back down onto B. It's Beast Blaines winning that one out, but Flo with that stalker rifle finding one instantly gets traded. It's Benjo in a 1v1 with Bird, and Bird able to win it, stuck inside of this red room, but not able to find the kill. It's Beast finding a second one, and I guess with how that engagement was, it could have been way worse for Flippers Down, so I'd say that's a win so far for them.
Definitely, and with it being a 4-point difference, you're not going to see the pace change much anytime soon. And now with Rockets coming into play, Wildfire rotating that bottom A, not knowing if that Rocket player is hurt or not, and not knowing where the Rockets are looking, but it's the trade that comes through, I believe.
And they're able to grab the Rockets and actually save one more, I think. And that's going to be Flippers Down coming away with it. And big 1v1 here for Bird, not able to find it. 2 for Flo with the Rockets, as Bird still staying alive, as there's only one player stuck in C, not able to come away with one. It's Bird with 3 big kills, has started off really slow on this map, 1 in 8, but finding a big 3-piece to trim the lead down to 1. And you wouldn't have dreamed any other way of this map 5 going down, as it's so tight heading into the end of this game.
With a 2-point difference, and Centennials trying to really take that difference and go with it. We're not checking our corners, and it's BTH who gets the kill and his teammate who gets the trade. And we find another one, B stairs in red room, but it's the 2 enemy teammates that take him down. And when you can't win those 1v1s, you can't win those 2v2s. The double kill and a perfect coming out of BTH Bird. He's putting down the damage, another double coming his way, and now we're gonna see this game tie up.
And Bird is just heating up at the right time. His team needs him, as we find ourselves tied up at 36. Everything coming down to these last moments, the suspense. I can really feel it, as so much damage now done from Nomad. Gonna be forced to back down, as that shotgun has done so much damage, but gets traded out. IG Dish finds the first one, finds the second one, does the damage onto the third, and ends up with all 3. The lead now going towards Flippers Down, as they look to close out this map 5 and be the champions of their division.
And these Rockets could definitely do it for them. Flo picking up the Rockets, kind of wasting the first one on that one-shot kill, finding that player here in tires, but it does little damage. He gets taken down, and the Rockets not really finding the slays they needed.
Yeah, but it's Bird again, finding a double kill. So big. 9 and 2 since that slow start. That's a big run for him, to be honest. This game now really starting to slow down the pace. All these players really feeling the suspense and the pressure that this moment can bring.
Hearts racing as we inch closer to the end of this game, and it's almost a standstill now. 43-43. BTH and the team here sitting arcade and B rails, but it's all the way across the map that Centennials have. And I love it when we get to this standstill here. It's all about who gets the first pick.
Oh, but that nade coming out, it's Wildfire. A beautiful couple of nades for them. And that is going to put them in such a bad spot. That's 2 kills now. Only 2 players remaining. That was all for a 4-kill lead. Centennials just need 3 to close it out.
Centennials are really good at really sneaking up on you, and once they get that first pick, they get the rest of you. And Devlin again with the Stalker Bulldog combo, feeling confident, seeing a player up in heaven, but it's the top A player who's trying to take him back down, and the damage being put out, and the teammates really starting to duo up.
Yeah, but unfortunately, there's still fight left in Flippers down. 3 kills down and finding themselves actually in a pretty good spot. That's 2 players now. 1 HP inside of A right there. And all these players flooding, trying to stay together. They find one, but end up getting taken down. The trades were enough for Centennials as they become our champion mixed champions.
I mean, what a what a close last few seconds of that game, and the first pick really caused that game to fall in favors of Centennials. They got the first pick, and as a team they play together and they play aggressive, and Flippers down not giving up and having the endurance they have showed us that, I mean, this toe-to-toe match, they were not ready to back down.
Yeah, and in that 43-43, right? It was really just not a test of will. It was really a test of who was willing to take a risk and try to make a play, because in that moment, you saw it, Flippers down. They weren't ready to make a play. They kind of all huddled up inside of B, not wanting to get caught out. And unfortunately, because of that, they were playing so close to each other. The nades ended up doing the damage, finding the first kill, and they end up just getting wiped. And Centennials, they were the ones who wanted to go for that risk. You saw a player go down P Street, down towards that shotgun lane of the map, and that's where they were able to find that second kill, and that pinch kind of coming together, forcing Flippers down into a bad spot. And that risk in a map 5, in a game as tight as that, that's what's going to make the difference.
And the difference was made, and I have to say I love watching when it comes to the standstill. You see players pick up the utility and try to pick up that weapon that they're comfortable with and that they feel is going to give them that pick. And I have to say the positioning from both teams, no matter what part of the game we were in, we were really trying to stick together. Both teams having the ability to adapt to each other's play style. Both of these teams are extremely smart.
Yeah, they were. And I think, having those players back down into C was really the position you'd want them in. That's a pretty easy position to fly into. They just weren't ready to really break themselves out and try and do anything about that stalker rifle player just being able to get shots down into them over there. And the damage was done, backed them down, forced them to really play into those corners, nades coming through. It was honestly beautiful Halo at that point. And you said it, right? When players in those moments, when everything slows down, allows you to kind of grab all that utility and all those weapons, everything that's really on the map. And when you have those things in your hand, you got to account for what you have and try and make a play. That's something where my background comes from, and coming into Siege and being able to call for those kinds of plays with what utility you have in positions and being able to really, break into an area. And that's something that Centennials did, and that's something that Flippers Down failed to do. And overall, that's just beautiful Halo.
Beautiful Halo, and I can't wait to see the rest of it that we have this week. We have, I mean, a ton of matches set up for you guys this week. And I mean, watching how this series took off, set off, and ended, I've got to say we're up for an exciting week.
Yeah, long week of Halo. Still have, I believe, 6 games that we are streaming overall between our A and B stream between tomorrow and Thursday. So make sure you guys are watching that. We're going to go over and send a raid onto Barcode. But don't worry, guys. We're going to be back with more Halo. Thank you all for coming and joining us today for this grand finals. We have about 6 more to go. Stay tuned for that and enjoy the rest of your nights.